Hello children, how are you? I hope you all are doing well and studying well. So children, I hope कि आप English writing, reading सब कुछ practice कर रहे हो and also you're communicating in English. I hope so. And if not, then start doing it from now. Okay? So बच्चों, do you like history? Okay? Not only our history, क्या आपको world की history भी जानने में मज़ा आता है? So चलो देखते हैं इस चैप्टर में about Hitler. Okay? And let's see what we are going to learn from this chapter about how to be a good human. Okay? So this chapter is called Being Human. Let's read the prologue and learn what and understand what we are going to learn in this chapter. Alright? The prologue says, racists like Hitler divided the world into superior and inferior races, okay, and believed that by nature and fate, the superior people have the right to dominate the inferior. Racism fueled Nazi ideology and policies. The Nazis viewed the world as being divided up into competing inferior and superior races, each struggling for survival and dominance. Nazi racism would produce murder on an unprecedented scale. According to Nazi theories of race, Germans had perceived superior physical and mental traits. Jesse Owens, an American athlete, despite of all the odds, silenced Hitler and those with the same superiority mindset with his magnificent performance on the track in 1936 Olympics. So बच्चों, हिटलर जो थे उन्होंने एक सुपीरियर और इन्फीरियर के बेसिस पे लोगों को डिवाइड किया था. He had divided the world, okay, based on superior people and inferior people. Okay, he was quite a racist. Okay, मतलब वो race के हिसाब से, the higher your race, the superior you are, the lower your race, the inferior you are. ऐसे उन्होंने divide किया था. But उनको silence किया एक athlete ने, an American athlete silenced him. His name was Jesse Owens. So let's see what he did and how things changed. Alright, before that, let's do a warm-up. Read about the atrocities of Hitler and Nazi Party in Germany. Find out what was the outcome of World War II. So do this research कि why Hitler, okay, was not liked by anyone. What did he do? Okay, and how? Okay, what was the outcome of his behavior in the World War II? Alright, so do this research children and discuss with your friends and your teacher. Alright, now let's read this chapter. American athlete Jesse Owens had just come off the ocean liner Manhattan on his way to the Berlin Olympics. The year was 1936. As his motor coach rolled southeast towards the German capital, he stared out from the window with increasing amazement. The streets of Germany were like nothing he had ever seen before. The old buildings fascinated him. But most striking of all were the swastika flags, okay, that seemed to hang from almost every window or shop front. The crooked black cross on a blood-red banner was the symbol of the German Nazi Party. Its presence spoke silently of a country totally controlled by the Nazis. So ये Nazis जो थे वो superiors and inferiors में differentiate करके okay, वो अपना dominate करते थे दूसरों के ऊपर. Okay, तो जब Jesse Owens okay, came from America okay, to Berlin okay, for the Olympics in 1936, okay, he was quite fascinated by the country okay, and the city where he had been. But okay, he noticed the prominently he noticed the flags, okay, the swastika flags, okay, जिसपे black cross बना हुआ था and blood red banners लगे हुए थे सब जगह पे, is what he noticed and he felt okay, that कितना वहाँ के लोगों पे Nazi rulers ने dominate किया है, how much influence they must have had over these other people. Okay, the 1936 Olympics were held in troubled times. ओके. इटली हैड जस्ट कॉन्कर्ड इथोपिया. तो ये वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 के दरमियान ये ओलंपिक्स हुए थे. ओके, इट वॉज इन ट्रबल टाइम्स. ओके, इटली हैड जस्ट कॉन्कर्ड इथोपिया. ओके, मास अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट plagued Europe and America. Brazil was politically divided and it sent 2 teams to the games. Both were disqualified. And civil war had broken out in Spain that very summer. Most ominous of all, a regime of alarming brutality. The Nazi regime had taken control in Germany. सो देखो कितना ट्रबल टाइम था वहाँ पे इटली ने इथोपिया पे कॉन्कर किया था. मास अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट थी अमेरिका में, यूरोप में. फिर ब्राज़ील ने पॉलिटिकली डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किया था, 2 एथलीट्स को भेजा विच देन देयर टीम्स वर डिस्क्वालिफाइड. ओके, फिर सिविल वॉर हैड ब्रोकन अप इन स्पेन. ओके, एंड देन यू नो द मोस्ट अलार्मिंग वाज द ब्रूटलिटी that Nazis had created in Germany. Okay, the Nazis believed that the German people were the master race. They felt that they were the most superior race. Okay, they felt that हमारे जैसा कोई था ही नहीं. Okay, we were the superior race of all the races. Okay, superior human beings who were destined to rule the world. Okay, to them, the Berlin Olympic Stadium with a capacity of 110,000 people was to be a grand stage where German athletes would assert their claims to racial superiority. Okay, the Olympics was to be a grand advertisement for their regime and its beliefs. तो उनको लग रहा था कि they were the most superior, the master race of all the races. और उनको लगता था कि ये जो ओलंपिक्स गेम है, ओके, जहाँ पे अराउंड उस स्टेडियम में अराउंड 110,000 पीपल वर देयर. ओके, दे थॉट दैट इट वाज लाइक टू एडवर्टाइज दैट देयर जर्मन एथलीट्स, ओके, would claim the racial superiority, and they believed that that was the place where they could advertise about their regime and their beliefs. Okay, the Nazis had strong and hateful views about other races, especially the Jews and the black people. Nazi leaders blamed the Jews for every evil that had overtaken their country that century, and the Jewish people in Germany were subjected to daily abuse and violence. The Nazi attitude to black people was less complicated. They simply thought of them as subhuman. So, उनको generally उनको दूसरे races के बारे में कोई मतलब they never believed in equality. ओके, और दूसरों को हमेशा वो नीचे ही देखते थे कि दे आर ऑफ नो वर्थ और नो वैल्यू एट ऑल. ओके, सो स्पेशली जूज और ब्लैक्स के साथ तो काफ़ी दे वर लाइक काफ़ी बायस्ड एंड दे वर लाइक दे नेवर ट्रीटेड देम वेल. ओके, दे थॉट कि जो भी बुरा हो रहा है उनके कंट्री में वो जूस की वजह से हो रहा है, एंड फॉर देम ब्लैक पीपल वर जस्ट लाइक अ सब ह्यूमन. मतलब वो है तो है, ठीक है, कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता, ऐसे टाइप का एटीट्यूड था टुवर्ड्स ब्लैक पीपल. ओके, many people throughout the world were disgusted by the racist attitude of the Nazis and felt their country should boycott the Olympics. तो इसी एटीट्यूड की वजह से, ओके, नाजीज के एटीट्यूड की वजह से बहुत से कंट्रीज़ को लग रहा था कि ये ओलंपिक्स जो हो रहे हैं जर्मनी में, दे शुड बी बॉयकॉटेड, वो नहीं होने चाहिए. ओके, दे शुड not let it happen. Aware of this reaction, the Nazis had softened their fanatical policies in the recent months. Eventually, 52 nations agreed to attend the Berlin Olympics. तो they, since they wanted it to happen, तो उन्होंने अपने थोड़े से policies को थोड़ा सा twitch कर दिया था, and they tried to be good at that time, और 52 nations ने register किया. Owens too had wondered whether he should go to Berlin, but at 22, he was one of America's most promising athletes. He was an extraordinary runner and was equally remarkable in the long jump. The Olympic Games offered him the opportunity to show his skills to the entire world. So जैसे दूसरे countries were skeptical, वैसे even Owens was skeptical. But he was just 22 years old. और उनको पता था कि वो काफ़ी अच्छा रन करते हैं. He was good at long jump also. Okay, and it was a chance for him to showcase his abilities, okay, and his skills. His coach had warned him to expect racist abuse from Nazi supporters among the Berlin crowds. तो उसके कोच ने उसको मेंटली प्रिपेयर कर दिया था. But Owens had come to the Olympics determined not to allow this to affect his performance. And his coach was wrong. The German people were fascinated by him, and no sooner had he arrived in the country than he was mobbed by sports fans who had read about his record-breaking performances. But उसके कोच जो थे वो गलत थे. जर्मन लोगों ने they were like very fascinated by him. They were quite they were quite impressed by him. Okay, and they had read about all his record-breaking performances. Owens was made an ideal hero. He was tall and handsome, but more importantly, he had a boyish charm and modesty that made him particularly likable. So, people had liked him a lot. They had started liking him a lot. They had read about him, okay, and he had his own charm. He was good looking. He was charming. Okay, so children, let's track your performance through this My Performance Tracker. Quickly answer the questions and move ahead with the chapter. Alright. The games began on 1st August with a speech made by the founder of the modern games, Pierre de Coubertin. The important thing at the Olympic Games is not to win, but to take part. The most important thing about life is not to conquer, but to struggle well. It was unlikely that this philosophy would be taken seriously by the Nazi hosts. So, एक philosophy होती है, being a part of the game is more important than winning. कहते हैं ना, winning is not important. To be a part of it is important. उसमें भाग लेना बहुत important होता है. Okay? Owens' first race, the 100 meters, was on the day after the opening. He was pitted against 5 of the world's fastest human beings. All of them wanted to beat him. On that cold, wet afternoon, the crowd held its breath. The sound of the starting pistol echoed around the stadium, and Owens shot from the line. Racing to a new Olympic record, he received an ecstatic ovation from the stadium crowd. He had run 100 meters in 10.3 seconds. Wow, that's a record. सिर्फ 10.3 seconds में उन्होंने 100 meters का sprint लगाया था. Okay, and everyone, the entire crowd was like shouting, okay, with happiness. Okay, in his private stadium box, Nazi leader Adolf Hitler, a regular spectator at the games, was not amused. Hitler was not amused. Okay, his dream of German athletes dominating the games was fading before his eyes. He could feel कि मैंने जो सोचा था कि German will dominate, okay, वो सपना टूटने वाला है. When an aide suggested to invite Owens up to congratulate him, Hitler was outraged. Do you really think I'll allow myself to be photographed or shaking hands with a black man? He hissed. Because he was black. So Hitler was angry when somebody offered to take a photograph with Owens. Okay. The next day, Owens competed in the long jump, but his 3 preliminary jumps nearly ended in disaster. Here in Germany, some rules were different. Owens was upset, but help came from an unexpected quarter. A fellow long jump competitor, a German named Lutz Long, whispered a few consoling words. Owens jumped a stupendous, record-breaking 8.06 meters leap. The record remained unbeatable for 24 years. So बच्चों, पहले तो उन्होंने नेक्स्ट डे जब वो लॉन्ग जंप के लिए गए तो उन्होंने काफ़ी कोशिश की, बट ही वॉज नॉट एबल टू विन. ओके, ही वॉज हैविंग अ डिजास्ट्रस लॉस. ओके, फिर जब 4th क्वार्टर में, अनएक्सपेक्टेड क्वार्टर में जब उनका टर्न आया, तभी जो जर्मन कॉम्पिटिटर थे लॉन्ग जंप वाले, लुत्स लॉन्ग, उन्होंने उनके कानों में कुछ वर्ड्स विस्पर किए. Okay, and then, okay, he had a record breaking jump, okay, 8.06 meters leap, और 24 साल में ये रिकॉर्ड किसी ने ब्रेक ही नहीं किया था. So imagine how great that record was. Okay, Long and Owens left the stadium arena arm in arm, and that evening they met again at the Olympic Village and talked through the night. Long's blonde, Germanic good looks and perfect athlete's body were the epitome of the Nazi German racial ideal. But Long did not share his leader's racist beliefs. He and Owens found they had much in common. They were the same age and from similar poor backgrounds, and both saw athletic success as a way to improve their future. Long, too, was disturbed by the prejudice he saw all around him in Germany. So they became very good friends, and then after the this thing, after the run also, they met in the evening at the Olympics village. They shared a good chat with each other. They spent good time with each other. But this person, okay, Long, he did not believe in any of these Nazi beliefs, okay, because even he came from a poor background, and then they had a very good chemistry with themselves, okay, amongst themselves. All right. There were more successes to come. On 5th August, Owens was to run in the 200 meters final. By now, Nazi hopes that their athletes would sweep away all competitions had evaporated. The Nazi press had started to ridicule Owens, and German officials were heard complaining about non-humans being allowed to take part in the games. So, अभी और success आने वाला था. Owens was to run the 200 meters final, okay? But Nazi के जो hopes थे कि they would be the superior ones, they would be winning everything, had evaporated. तो इसकी वजह से उन्होंने दूसरों की बदनामी करनी शुरू कर दी थी, and they had started writing wrong things about Owens and German officials and all. Okay, Owens refused to let himself be intimidated by this atmosphere of petty spite and won the 200 meters in a once more record-breaking 20.7 seconds. So Owens jo the, he did not pay any attention to whatever was written about him or spoken about him. He ran that race और उन्होंने नया record बनाया उस time पे of running 200 meters in 20.7 seconds. Okay, and for Owens, this was the final event, and he settled back to enjoy the rest of the games, free from the pressure of further competition. But the American coaches had other plans for him. He was in such a peak form that they insisted him to take part in the 4 into 100 meters relay race. Okay, Owens protested. He had won 3 gold medals already. He told the coach, shouldn't others be given a chance? तो उसके रनिंग की वजह से उसके कोचेस ने उस पर और प्रेशर डाला. ही वांटेड टू एंजॉय द गेम्स, बट उन्होंने उसको बोला कि तुम्हें रिले रेस में भागना है. ओके, आपको रिले रेस पता है ना कि यू हैव टू टेक द बेटन एंड रन अहेड. सो देयर वाज अ रिले रेस 4 by 100 meters. Okay, and but Owens was not ready for it and he protested. Okay, the coach was unmoved. You will do as you are told, he declared. So Owens took to the field. The American team was unbeatable and Owens added a 4th medal to his collection. The Berlin Olympics made Owens world famous. When the games finished, he left Germany for a short tour of Europe, surrounded by press photographers and well-wishers. Hitler was infuriated by it all. The 1936 Olympic Games were supposed to have been a great victory for the German master race. Now, thanks to the soft-spoken athlete, his plans had come to naught. No one was going to forget Jesse Owens, the black American who won 4 gold medals and made a mockery of the Nazi claims of German racial supremacy. So देखा आपने कि कैसे हिटलर के जो सपने थे that Germany would be the one to be the superior of all and win everything, वो सारे सपने कैसे एक one person called Jesse Owens broke them all. Okay, and then they achieved success and the Germans had to accept their defeat. All right, so he was, although Hitler was angry, he did not praise Jesse Owens and all, but still, okay, the damage had been done. Okay, the Nazi supremacy had to had to bow down before this person who won the Olympics. All right, so children, there are so many heroes, okay, who have brought about a lot of change to their country. So जब भी आपको मौका मिलेगा, do read about them. हमारे कंट्री में भी मिल्खा सिंह जी जो है, he was a very good runner. So उनकी स्टोरी भी आपको मौका मिलेगी तो देख लो या मूवी भी देख लो. And at the same time, to appreciate the people from the other countries also. Alright, so children, now quickly reread this chapter, learn the important words, the difficult words, their meaning, and don't forget to do the back exercises.